couple minutes. But if you're watching this right now, you are on the future marketing training, the 7 hot new digital marketing strategies that will triple your business in the next 12 months. So if you're here for that, then you're in the right place. If you thought you were coming to see something else, then you were in the wrong place. So we're going to give folks just a few more minutes to come on, get started, pretty close to the top of the hour. I do want to make sure that we get started on time, finish on time. But we got some really, really, really great cutting-edge research and information to share with you guys tonight. So you definitely are wise to be here and to invest the time. I know that it's going to be well worth the time. Just want to do a quick check. Perry, are you here? You with us?
Yeah, indeed, I'm here, man.
Okay, so again, we're going to get started here in just a little bit. I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about who I am and what we're about here at Digital Marketer in case you don't know, and I'll introduce Perry as well. But again, kind of the topic of the training is future marketing, and that's, really it's just kind of looking out over the next 12 months. What are going to be the big changes? What are going to be the big things that you need to be paying attention to? The shifts that are occurring right now in the digital marketing landscape, where if you're selling anything online, generating leads, doing any type of business whatsoever on the internet or in mobile platforms, then you definitely want to hear some of the things that we have to talk about. We've got 7, again, very, very important changes and really futuristic things to discuss about what's coming down the road. And just in being here tonight, hearing this, you're going to be on the cutting edge. You're going to be smarter than everybody else that you know. Did you have something to add, Perry?
Yeah, these aren't just predictions either. These are things that in the last quarter of the year, and as recently as yesterday, we were testing and actually pulling real results from. So we're showing you what we're doing, what's going to work in 2012, 13, 14, moving forward, what we think is going to work over the next 12 to 36 months, but also everything in here, pretty much everything in here, we've got test data on. We've already ran preliminary tests for, and it's not theoretical. It's not like, ooh, let's pull out our crystal ball and predict what we think is going to happen. These are techniques and tactics that are working right now. Most are really counterintuitive. They're things you wouldn't think of doing, and I think you're going to be eyes open to some really, really, really big opportunities.
Yeah, so with that said, we're coming up now, we're a little past the top of the hour, actually. So what I want to do is go ahead and dive in and get started. I like to do just a really quick sound test, hopefully, since we've been kind of talking now for a few minutes, you've heard us. But if you can, there's a chat box in the lower right-hand corner. If you could just say yes, or I hear you, or something like that, to let us know that you hear this, that'd be good. Okay, so it sounds like you can hear us. And also, same, if I can see or I can see the screen. Again, you should see, the screen should say Future Marketing, the 7 hot new digital marketing strategies that will triple your business in the next 12 months. So, all right, well, it looks like everybody can see and hear us, so I think we are good to get started. Once again, my name is Ryan Dice. I'm the founder of Idea Incubator LP, which is a startup incubator here in Austin, Texas. And one of our main projects here is digitalmarketer.com, which is a marketing research firm also out of Austin, Texas. And what we do here is kind of unique. There's a lot of people out there that teach and that talk about online marketing and digital marketing and things like that, but that's basically all they do. They teach and they talk about it. What we do with Digital Marketer and the information and strategies and tactics that you guys are going to be getting on the training tonight, these come not from things that we've heard about, not from things that we've read about, not even from things that we've consulted with or told other people to do. These strategies and tactics have come out of our incubator right here. So when we tell you that this is important, you need to try it, it's because we've tested it. Oftentimes, the examples that we're going to show you aren't necessarily ours. It's just because, in some cases, some other people's examples were more interesting. But just know that the research and the strategies and the tactics that you're getting, they're ours. They're things that we have tested using our money in our own businesses. In other words, we don't just teach, we don't just talk about this, we actually do it. And we're, of any group that does teach and talk about the subject matter of digital marketing, we're probably one of the few, if not the only ones, that actually makes more money doing it than teaching it. And that's something that I really think differentiates itself. I don't want to go on talking about how great we are, but I do think it's a point of differentiation that you guys need to know. So again, my name is Ryan Dice. I've been doing digital marketing now for over 10 years. Started, a dozen or so companies, sold a number of them off. And that's kind of why we started this incubator here in Austin, Texas, so that we can, now have a big team. And we now have a team where I'm sitting right now in our offices. There's a team of 40-something people out there that are some of the best and brightest minds in digital marketing. And I'll talk more about them a little bit later. But that's kind of what we do. That's what we run. One of our top marketing strategists, probably one of the most valuable members of our team here, and somebody who's taught me, he's probably forgotten more about digital marketing than I even know, is Perry Belcher. And Perry, I'll let you tell folks a little bit about kind of who you are, and then we'll dive in and jump into the content.
Hey, Ryan. Yeah, I'd be glad to. Just real briefly, I've been in this business of selling online for 13 or 14 years. I can't remember exactly which. I started in 1998, the year after Jeff Bezos started Amazon. So I've been around a long time selling online. I've sold, literally tens of millions of dollars of merchandise online, and I really love it. It changes every single day. It's the most fun thing I've ever done. And if you're an entrepreneur out there and you're not deeply into this yet, it's a snake bite thing. You're going to love it, because I get bored real easily. You never get bored. You never get bored marketing online, because the vehicle can change, the product can change, but the skills that you learn, transfer over. For a long time I was an entrepreneur, and I'd start a business, and eventually I'd get bored with it and I'd start another. So I had to go through a whole new learning curve again of how that industry worked. Now I start, own, run, buy, sell businesses, but most of the businesses I'm involved with are in the online space, and even offline businesses now are required to have an offline presence. So
yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because this really is for people. I don't want people to think like, oh, this is only for me if I'm selling an ebook. I mean, if you're doing, even if you have a traditional brick and mortar business, and you just have somewhat of an online presence where maybe you do lead generation, you're going to learn something on this training. If you're a consultant or you run an agency, maybe you do local marketing, you're going to learn something on this training that you can take to your clients. Same thing if you just work for an agency, or you're on the marketing team of a firm, you're going to learn some stuff that you
when
can
you go in
take
Monday
back.
Morning, you're going to sound pretty smart.
Yeah, you're going to sound really, really, really smart. So,
all right.
With that said, we'll go ahead and dive in. Again, what we're going to be covering we're going to be giving you guys 7 strategies. So strategy number 1 is how to get your products listed at the top of the largest buyer search engine in the world. And no, it's not Google. We're going to really spend a fair bit of time there. Strategy number 2 is the secret backdoor into Apple iTunes. And if you think, but I'm not in the music business, so it doesn't apply to me, believe me, that this has nothing to do with being a recording artist. This applies to all businesses, and you'll see why. Strategy number 3, how to tap into a little-known program that allows you to get thousands or even tens of thousands of clicks from Google AdWords, totally risk-free. This is actually a program that has been around.
No sell, no pay.
Yeah, it's been around for a little bit, but almost very few people know about it. And moving forward, certainly over the next 12 months, as we're watching pay-per-click costs begin to skyrocket, this strategy number 3 is only going to become more important, and it could be the thing that allows you to continue using Google AdWords, continue generating that traffic. Strategy number 4 is the brain-dead simple YouTube strategy that gets you free traffic from Google in 36 hours or less. Actually, we got a case study that we're going to show you that Perry whipped
2 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah, 36 hours is being a little generous. Yeah, it was just under 3 hours. And I think that out of everything, strategy number 4 is going to be the most jaw-dropping. Strategy number 5, the Obama-approved squeeze page that nearly triples the opt-ins to your homepage. A lot of us now, there's a lot of businesses that think that, everything's moved to social media. Email doesn't apply anymore. Boy, is that not true. But it has changed. And the ways that you go about getting subscribers, collecting those email addresses has changed. We'll show you the method that's working, that's going to be the most successful over the next 12 months. We're talking about micro offers, how charging less can make you twice as much profit in the next year, and the hands-free SEO method. They get you top rankings and a flood of free traffic for $20 or less.
And don't let SEO freak you out by hearing the word, because this is a 5-minute process.
Yeah. I don't want people to bail off early and be like, oh, SEO, that doesn't apply to me. Again, we're going to make you seem, really, really, really smart. Okay, so strategy number 1 is partnering with Amazon. So Perry, I'll let you kind of jump in and talk about this, since this really was your brainchild.
Yeah, it's funny how this story, there was kind of a story behind this, and I'll tell the story in a second. But the first thing I'll ask is, did you know that Amazon is the largest buyer search engine in the world, holding over 200 million customers' credit cards, and they're willing to share them all with you for just a few pennies? Most people don't even know they can sell their products on Amazon.
Yeah, and this, just so I'm clear, this is not just ebooks, right?
No. This
Physical
is
products.
basically anything you could imagine to sell, with the exception of, I think it's firearms and adult materials and a few things Amazon won't let you sell. The strategy I'm about to show you will work with practically anything. I'm going to show you quite a lot about the Kindle publishing part of Amazon, but for those people who are in the information business or book publishers or what have you, or just can publish small reports to drive traffic back to your local business even. But you can also use the exact same strategy to actually to sell physical products. That's the first test that we ever did. Is that in here?
Yeah. Well, not that specific.
Yeah. So what happened is, the way the story goes, Ryan and I were in China for a business trip, and when we left, we were testing a strategy, and I actually picked someone else's product at Amazon and applied the strategy to it. And when we came back from China 2 weeks later, the product was at the top of Amazon, and not only was it at the top of Amazon, it was the top of Google for the term, because Amazon items get picked up at Google. If you look at anything physical, one of the top listings or first page listing almost always at Google is an Amazon product. And I'm going to show you how to get your products into Amazon and how to actually get them listed that way. So the first place I want to tell you about is the Kindle, KDP site for Kindle. This is the direct publishing site. And basically this is where, everybody's got these Kindle readers. The Kindle Reader, the Kindle Fire, was the #1 gift given at Christmas this year, period. Of all gifts, it was #1. And so literally millions of people have these things now, and there's Kindle apps on all the Apple products for iPhone and iPad. There's Kindle apps on computers now. There's Kindle apps on all the other tablets, all the other phones. So this is a really great distribution network, and as a matter of fact, Kindle is actually outselling hardcover and paperback books for the first time ever. There are more Kindle books sold on Amazon every month now, or every year, than there are actually real books. So selling on Amazon starts very, very easily at the Kindle level, and pretty much anybody can do it. Here's an example of a book that I did called How to Start a Business from Home, and I published this. It's a Kindle ebook. It's about, 150 pages long. It was actually, I took a transcript of an interview that I did one time before with a friend of mine, sent it over to a writer, had it cleaned up, and created a book from it, and published it in the Kindle platform. And that's, by the way, that's very, very, very easy to do. In a second, I'm going to give you a resource where you learn how to do that. And then we applied some certain strategies to this to drive it to the top of Amazon. So as you can imagine, how to start a business from home is a pretty popular term. And you'll see how many people actually search that in just a minute. So to get very high in the search engine, or even to get very high in Amazon for this term, traditionally would be very, very difficult to do. But the way that we did it became extremely easy. So let me show you, first of all, how the sneaky little trick number 1, and this sounds so simple, but nobody ever thinks about it, is match the title of your book or your report, and you can even publish a report. There's nothing wrong with publishing a 20-page report at Amazon through Kindle and selling it for 99 cents. If your objective is, and it should be, that piece become a lead generation piece. In other words, you want people to download that report, read it, and click through a link to go to your website somewhere to get another product or to get a bribe. So a lot of times in my products, I'll add links in where I say, hey, if you'd like to get this, this free piece of software, if you'd like to get this other free course that I've got, you can click through here. And you don't need to just put, everybody says, well, where should I put my link? And the answer is everywhere. As many times as you can throughout the publication without being obnoxious. So, but anyway, number 1, the number 1 reason
Can I say something about that real quick? Yeah. So just as an action item, if you currently are offering a report on your website, you're having people a white paper, anything like that on your website right now, and you're saying, hey, enter your name and email address to get this free report. I would suggest that immediately following this training, you take some of the resources we're going to show you, you publish that report to Amazon Kindle, you name it, you title it, just like, and I'm going to kick it back over to you and have you really explain this, match your title to your desired keyword, but you go ahead and you change the title of the report, and you sell it in Kindle for 99 cents. Nobody's going to be freaked out that, oh, you charge me $1 over here, but it's free over here. And if they do, gosh, give them a refund. It's $1. The point is, you can start getting buyer leads for free. You can actually get paid to get them now from the content you already have. So this is not go out and write a book. This is if you already have the content, use that. So,
right.
Sorry.
So the big trick is the thing that I couldn't believe that people really didn't do when it comes to Kindle or even publishing a physical book on Amazon through CreateSpace or some other publisher, is most people don't name their book the way people are actually searching for the book. So there are a lot of books out there for how to start a business, and one might be your first dollar or something like that. The problem with that is Amazon is at its core structure a search engine, okay? And it has two real ranking criteria. One is relevancy, and two is sales, amount of sales. So you can kind of overcome the amount of sales and get toward the top of Amazon, number one, and I'm going to show you how to do both things, so you have to do both to make it work. Number one, by simply naming your book something that's very relevant to a search. So people look up how to start a business quite readily, and you can see here, this is a tool called wordtracker.com. Wordtracker.com is a great little service that we use, and it tells you kind of how people look for things and how many people a day look for them. So if you look here, how to start a business gets 899 searches a day, and that's great, but here's the problem with that. The competition level is 975,000 websites. So how to start a home business is a little better. 845, not bad compared to the, that it's a long tail term, but still there's 34,200 competitors now. But truly, that's 97% less competition than you had at the top term. But look at the third term, how to start a business from home. 631 searches a day, but only 3,200 competitors in the marketplace. That's the sweet spot. And you'll find in a number of businesses, see, I could have went down to how to start a small business, and they would have had 321, but it's got 25,000 competitors. Okay? So that's the first step, is looking for that sweet term, that sweet spot term, where you can get plenty of searches, but still have plenty of search volume, but have a really low competition threshold. Because our real objective is here, what we're going to accomplish is to get your book popular on Amazon. But by getting your book popular on Amazon, we're also going to make it very popular and very high ranked at Google itself. Okay? So that's step number one. So you'll see back to the screen that my title here is How to Start a Business from Home is the same as the title of the book, and they match. So the way people search at Google and the way what Word Tracker is going to show you is going to be very similar to the way people search at Amazon.
Real quick, because I know we have some people commenting like, I think that your cover could be more professional, or people are like, why is it your face on the cover? Guys, don't worry about that. This was done as a proof of concept really, really, quickly. Now, Perry happens to be an insanely attractive man, which is why he put his picture on there. No, I'm just kidding. But
what do you mean you're kidding?
Yeah, no, but the point is, this was done. How long did it take you? I mean, really, you had a transcript, you had this thing whipped up.
Well, it didn't take me much time at all. I mean, I had somebody do the cover, and that was a Fiverr thing. I sent them a thing over, and it was $5. Well, I'll talk about Fiverr in a little bit. And they cleaned up the book. I think I paid a writer $50 or $60 to do that. So if you write, see, I can't write. I write with my thumbs. So if you can write, which is weird
when he's using a pen, by the way.
Yeah, if you can write, I've got a great big body and little bitty arms. No, but if I could write, I could have done this myself, and you could too. But
the point I was making is that it doesn't. This was a proof of concept,
sure.
And if you're looking at it being like, well, I could do a better job than that.
Yeah, you can.
You probably could. The point is, it still worked, and it didn't just work on Amazon. I mean, I guess show them the good part.
Yeah, this is the good part, Mortimer. So, sorry. This is where you publish the book, by the way. And there's Yeah, we'll get that. The good
Yeah,
part
this-
to say
this is- this
well,
is
that was a
video.
tease, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So this is the slide that's where you can learn how to actually upload to the Kindle platform. It used to be quite difficult. It's actually quite simple now. There's a YouTube video down there. I'm gonna leave that up for just a second. If you'll write that down, because I know it's a weird address, try to write that down, and they are upper lowercase sensitive. So please write it down as you see it there. For the people that came on and said, I don't think I'm really going to need a notebook, they're hating life right now.
And I will tell you this, guys. Check your email immediately following this. Go ahead and check your. We can't do it right now because we're gonna have to leave. I don't want to leave kind of the recording area and go out. But go ahead and check your email immediately following the training. There will be an email in your inbox within like 5 or 10 minutes. Pretty much as soon as we end the training, we'll go out there and we will send out these handouts to you. Okay, so immediately following the training, go ahead, check your email, and you'll have these handouts. So don't freak out if you don't get everything down. We'll get you the handouts.
Yeah. So if you just go watch this little YouTube video, it's put out a very simple system for publishing. The basics are you can do all this with Microsoft Word, and it literally takes, once you're used to it. The first one, it took me an hour or so because I kept making some dumb little mistakes. But after that, I can publish now in Kindle in less than 3 minutes. So it's really, really, really simple. And we'll show you an even simpler way to do it in just a second. So, but here's the biggie. Here's what really turned everybody on was how to start after a while, after we went through this process, and I'll show you the rest of it in a second. When you go to Google and type how to start a business from home, my Amazon book listing fluctuates between number 4 and number 5 at Amazon. Now, I've not done much more to try to promote this since I did it. But you can see the couple things that are cool, and my listing shows up with the Amazon.com thing in front of it. So guess what? People already trust it over the other sites. Secondly, it shows up with 5 gold stars next to it, and none of the other listings at Google have those 5 gold stars next to them, right? So your listing from Amazon automatically stands out, and there's a number of reasons for that. If you look at, basically the big reason is that the title of the book is the same title as the search term. The first words that I put in the description of the book are how to start a business. I've got starting a small business. I got words scattered through the top of the description that are in the long tail, are in the key term. So basically, when a site goes into Amazon, this is a little technical, but when a site goes into when a page is created in Amazon, it already has a good deal of power and authority. Because it has a good deal of power and authority because it's sitting on Amazon's website. And Amazon has millions and millions and millions of backlinks going to their site. They're an authority site. So instead of having to work from an SEO perspective where you're going to have to try to SEO up a website and make it authoritative and beat out Amazon, it's just not going to happen. You can do very, very little to make that page in Amazon, just the page, your page, very popular. It's kind of complicated to explain, but it's really easier to do than it is to explain why it works. I can tell you why it works, and if you're one of our pro members, you can go into go back into the long training on this and see exactly how it works, all the mechanics, all the steps. The truth is, you almost don't need to know it if you're not one of those people that has to know. All you gotta know is how to do it, not necessarily how it works. And here's how I did it. It was pretty simple. All I did, once I had my book listed at Amazon, was buy some links. I went to 1 Hour Backlinks. This is a cool little service, and I bought some links. Now, I'll always buy the do follow links, the ones that say to the left there, the do follow links, they're 0.19 cents a piece, and the links with PR only, and those are 15 cents a piece. And I bought about $20 worth of links from here when I set that, once that book listing went live. Now, you want to let your book listing, you want to put your book into Kindle, let it go live, make sure you put your key phrase as the first key phrase in your book title, the description, make sure it's the same in the title, and put some other keywords smattered through the description. And that's pretty much it. You don't have to do a whole lot of work. Amazon's already done a lot of work for you. But you're going to grab your Amazon URL, wherever your book is placed, and you're going to send links directly to that. And this is so easy. You just enter in the left-hand box, you're going to enter your key phrase. Guess what that is? It's the same as your book title. And in the right, you're going to drop in your URL, which is your Amazon URL, and you're going to hit go. And that's going to be done in about a minute.
Yeah, and how long, when you did this for your book, how long did it take for it to get onto the first page of Google?
It got on the first page in probably 7 days, maybe.
Yeah.
At the most, maybe 7 days. It started moving up the ranks. Now, you got to know, though, that particular book, I have a lot of these, right? And I help other authors do it, too. That particular book is an extremely competitive term. If you look at how many people, I don't know if we can go back and look, but let me see. Look at the top left. Look at the Google logo and look to the right. There's, for how to start a business from home, there's 763 million results. 763 million results.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a big number. So I would give that a descriptor. But the second thing that I did was I went over to Fiverr. And Fiverr is a great place if you're not familiar with it. This is a place where people will do anything for $5, fundamentally. Well, almost anything for $5. And I bought some other links. You can just go to the top right corner, enter backlinks, and then select the once they've pulled up backlinks, select the tab there that I've got circled called ratings. And what that's going to do is basically pull up the people who are willing to provide backlinks by which ones are rated the highest. In other words, other customers got the highest results from those people. Okay. Now, I wish I could go into more depth with this, but we've got time limits.
Yeah, I know we're getting a lot of questions about specifics, guys. We want to make sure we cover all these topics. We're going to set up the handouts where there's some additional resources on there. And if you're a member of Digital Marketer Lab, so for you guys who are Digital Marketer Lab members, remember we have a raw training that covers this particular strategy in complete depth. That Perry did.
3 hours
if you're
long.
Not a member of Digital Marketer Lab, we'll talk about that later. But
you can actually, if you want to invest the time like I did, you can go out there and spend a weekend and probably learn how to do this.
Yeah.
It's just your choice. I don't want you to, you can do this. Anybody can do this is willing to invest, a few days to learn it or, get on and learn it the short way. But this also works. Let me show you. I want to show you this example too. A guy that used to work with us here at the lab used the same technique because he sells these things called vitamin C shower heads, and he sells them on Amazon. He basically imports them from the manufacturer, puts them on Amazon and lists them, and does exactly the same thing. And look at this, man. There are two things here you're going to want to pay close attention to. Number one, do you see those 3 listings in the center there, right? Those 3, the ones to the left-hand side, those are the shopping listings. And those are fantastic because they show a picture of the product. And if you click the top one, it goes back to our guy that did this. Now, the cooler thing still is that in many cases, to the right, you'll see those are Google ads. I kind of blew those up so you can see them a little clearer. The Google ads to the right-hand side, you're doing a great one. You could be like Vanna White, better watch out.
I do what I can.
Those ads over there, those are PPC ads from Google, and guess who pays for those? Amazon.com. Yep. Amazon actually pays Google to run ads to your products once they're listed on Amazon, but it only lists, as you'll see there, the top 2 or 3 products in the product listing. So unless you can move yours up the ranks, you won't get listed. The reason you're going to move up the ranks at Amazon so well is number 1, because you're relevant, but number 2, because you're driving all that traffic back from Google to Amazon. So obviously your thing's going to sell better, even if it's the same one. Like this product gets sold by a lot of people on Amazon, but because the guy that we had here ran links back to his, it got ranked at Google. Google pointed all that traffic over to Amazon, and his vitamin C shower head sold better than all the other people's vitamin C shower heads.
That really is the big takeaway. The 2 big takeaways are title, your Amazon listing, the keyword phrase that you want to rank for, and then drive links back to your Amazon page. No one else is doing that, guys. Yeah. That was the big revelation. That was kind of the big aha. No one else is doing it. And Amazon, they're so big, just a couple of links. They don't even have to be the greatest links in the world. You just buy them.
And you're going to see that trend run through the training today because there's a number of other things you can do to leverage big channels. So that's it. That's it on Amazon for now. I wish I could tell you more.
Yeah, strategy number 2 is actually it's along the same vein. So you have we call it the iTunes backdoor. So again, did you know that Apple will currently sell music, audio, and video information products ebooks and apps for you through iTunes to their 375 million customers through mobile devices like iPad, iPhone, and iPods. So the same strategy that we just talked about with Amazon can also be utilized not just for your reports, although you can sell books, ebooks through the iTunes space. But if you then convert those reports to video, or if you convert those reports to audio, now they can be sold through the iTunes marketplace as well. So why would you want to do that? The same reason that you want to put them in Amazon. It's another channel. It's another channel where people who already have their credit card out, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about both Amazon and iTunes and Apple. These credit cards are in storage. So somebody doesn't have to opt in, right? They don't have to enter their email address. It's one click, and they're buying your stuff. They're becoming a customer of yours.
If I can throw something in here, Steve Jobs, before his death, unfortunate death, every time, the last 2 or 3 years, when he's walked up to give his keynote every year at the Apple conference, the first thing he would say is, "Hi, everybody. Apple now has 100 million credit cards in the iTunes store.
Yeah.
Apple now has 200 million credit cards in the iTunes store. Apple now has 300 million credit cards in the iTunes store." He started off the presentation with that every year, and then he would go on with his presentation. And you know why? Because the big giant world domination plan for Apple is they're going to be the ultimate mobile shopping application. They already have, think about it, they probably have everybody on this call, they probably have your credit card number. So when you want your products to be sold by mobile or by iPad or by these other devices, Apple is the obvious choice to sell them, because if you can show your products through iTunes, they can hit one button. You can hit one button. I can hit one button. Brian, you can hit one button, and buy your products automatically through practically any device, and plus on computers. So it's another point of distribution. And I want you to shift your whole mind here and start thinking about things in a different way. Okay? What everybody's been trying to do in the past is sell their products, right? What I want you to think about doing is distributing your products and let other people sell them for you.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is, if you're smart about it and you learn to work with what we call these Walmarts of the internet, it's actually easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot more difficult to have a product than to have to go out there, build a website, generate traffic, drive it to the website, convert the traffic. I mean, that's a difficult task. It's far easier just to go to a store. Think about it. If I had a great top-selling product, wouldn't it be so much easier just to go to Walmart and say, "Hey, will you please sell this for me and give me a piece of the action?" I mean, that's why
versus hawking it on a street corner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the difference. And the people who get that this year, the people who make that shift from, I'm going to sell it through my channel, the channel that I own, my website, and they say instead, no, I'm going to focus on selling through other established channels, these new Walmarts of the internet, the iTunes, the Amazon, even Google and Facebook, some are channels as well. They're going to be the ones that get it. They're going to be the ones that make it through this important transitionary time. And it's not an exclusion of selling it on your own website. Guys, this is in addition to. This is more sales. This is more customers, more leads.
One last thing, and I'll let Ryan go on. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I think this is a big point that needs to be made. The other thing is that this is the thing that should turn you on, like make your head spin around, right? Everything you're learning today, nobody else really knows how to do. So there's an infinite amount of products out there that need to be sold, right? An infinite amount. So you don't have to sit around and think about, well, let me come up with a product first. Let me design a product, whatever. There's hundreds of thousands of products out there that you can go in and say, hey, I'd like to have the channel rights to sell your product. Well, what are the channel rights? Most people don't know what that is. I'd like to sell on Amazon, iTunes, and I'll take half. People be crazy not to do that. Yep. They're totally missing out. And that's the key. You've got an infinity-sized business if you want it.
Oh, and
all you have to do is want it.
And if you're a consultant, or an agency, my gosh, now you can start offering this in addition to doing social media services. And hopefully your imagination is buzzing right now. And again, this is the type of information that cutting-edge stuff that we like to provide to our members. We did publish full reports on partnering with Amazon and iTunes and Facebook and Google. If you haven't read those reports, we'll make sure that we send out a link where you guys can find out more information about those. So again, like we talked about, a similar strategy as the Amazon method that Perry just described also works with iTunes. But instead of going through KDP, instead of going through the Kindle Direct Publishing, you use a service called Smashwords. And Smashwords is great for books or reports. It's great for it's great for printed information. And essentially what Smashwords does is it's a tool, it's a plugin that distributes your content to all the different ebook distribution channels. So it'll get not just Amazon and not just iBooks, and it will also distribute to Amazon Kindle. But actually, when you're using Smashwords, you don't want to distribute it to Kindle. Kindle is too easy to get listed in. It's better off just to go and distribute it directly through Kindle, through KDP, and then use Smashwords to go through all the others, including iBooks.
The reason Smashwords exists, by the way, and the other one that Ryan's about to show you, is that Apple made the decision that they didn't want to screw with 1 million customers.
Yeah, for some reason, Amazon's happy to screw with it.
Amazon's happy to do it. Apple said, we don't want to do that. We're only going to screw with two or three distribution partners. So Smashwords is a distribution partner of Apple, and they'll deal with all of the us's in the world that have something that they want to sell. And Smashwords will make sure that you're following all the rules. They'll get everything in the proper format. They clean it all up so that Apple doesn't have to have a big department like Amazon. It's quite smart, really, because Amazon has this big regulatory department that makes sure everything works right, or they won't let you do it or whatever. Smashwords does all that before they ever submit your product to Apple. So that way, it's really awesome service because you won't get in trouble with Apple or the other brands like Barnes & Noble and Sony and all the Android apps, all that stuff. By the way, one other thing with Smashwords, you put a report in Smashwords, that thing's going to be published in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of places in a matter of days.
Yeah, and again, going back to the report titling strategy, you can, and the link building strategy, you publish a report through Smashwords and you find out, hey, where are all the other pages, not just Amazon.com, where this report is showing up. It won't be on sites as big as Amazon.com, but it might be on a site, you might get now 3 or 4 or 5 listings for your keyword from all those different sites, and you dominate page 1.
It takes up space that your competitor would otherwise have.
Yeah. So, and that's why I said these two strategies go hand in hand. So there's Smashwords for print, and there's CD Baby for audio. Okay, so Smashwords for print and CD Baby for audio. So if you've got if you want to just read a white paper, then I highly recommend the same thing. Title it, the keyword you want to rank for, and you're going to now be in the iTunes marketplace. If you go through CD Baby, it doesn't have to be music. That's a weird thing. I know it's called CD Baby. It doesn't, and there's a guy with a guitar on there, but it doesn't have to be music. Okay, it can be whatever you want it to be.
And they just cut a big deal with Facebook Music too. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So it's a whole different, just another channel. I think you're starting to kind of get the idea that there are going to be a handful of players.
Oh, well, Spotify. They got to get Spotify.
Spotify's hot right now.
Real big.
So there's a handful of these distribution channels for your information. They're going to sell stuff for you, and this is just one of those tools.
Yeah, so the strategies that we talked about before about naming your product and then driving links to the page once it does finally get listed, in iTunes and Spotify and things like that, driving links to those so that you can claim those Google rankings and just help out with your rankings within that internal search engine. That's the strategy that works, and it works really, 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 really well. Strategy number 3 is what we call making Google your affiliate. And essentially, did you know that Google is shifting from an advertising-supported platform to becoming the world's largest affiliate, and they will sell your products for you on straight commission. So no sale, no pay. If they don't get a sale for you, then you don't have to pay them. Now, everybody thinks about Google AdWords. You hear Google AdWords, what do you think of? PPC, which stands for pay-per-click. So that's what people are accustomed to doing. That was kind of the model that they didn't invent, but they essentially popularized, was they sell clicks. So, and really that was substantially better than the old advertising model, which if you were going to do, radio or TV or print, now you were paying per impression. You were paying on a CPM basis. So just if somebody happens to see it, you're paying. So paying per click was a dramatic improvement for the advertiser. And they just took it one step further, and they said, "Look, we'll let you pay us right now just for the action. We'll let you pay us for every sale we make, or for every opt-in we generate for you, for every download that we generate. So those are the types of things that you can do once you're tapped into this Google program. What we've seen from our experience is if you set this up right, you can get 200% more conversions, literally double the total number of sales for the same ad spend. Okay, so you're spending the same amount of money, but you're doubling the number of sales. This particular program is called Google Conversion Optimizer, and there's a link where you can go learn more about it. And this is actually, out of everything that we're showing you, this is the one that isn't as new, but it's new for most people. And it really, when it first came out, it didn't work as well, it didn't track as well, and so a lot of people abandoned it, a lot of people ignored it. I'm telling you guys, this year, you've got to give this a shot, okay? It's not in all cases going to decrease your ad spend, but what it will do is open you up to a much, much, much bigger campaign. And again, what you're doing is you're bidding on actions, not clicks. The way that you get this set up is simple. You just change the bidding strategy link. So if you currently have a Google AdWords account, this is already in there for you, okay? Just go into the edit campaign settings, click on the change bidding strategy link, and you'll go to a page that looks just like this. Simply click away from manual bidding, which is based on cost per click, and switch to Conversion Optimizer. It will then recommend an amount to bid per conversion. Now, you do have to have, it says here at least 30 conversions. Actually, now, if you just have 15 conversions in the last 30 days, it'll track it. Now, if you're not using Google's conversion tracking script, you can't do this yet. So if you're not currently using Google's conversion tracking script, which you should be using, go ahead, get that conversion tracking script installed on your action page. So whatever your thank you page or download page is, get that installed, generate 3 conversions, and they don't have to be sales. Okay, they can be opt-ins. Once you get, depending on your account, 15 to 30, then you're going to be good to go to give this a shot. It will recommend, just like Google always does, it will recommend a particular bid for action. And I'm going to recommend that you go with the one that they're suggesting. As long as you can afford it. If you look at the number and you say, I sell a product for $50 and they're suggesting that, that I pay $50 per action, you'd be crazy not to take it because all the money that's made on the back end is yours to keep. So the benefits to you with this program is greater exposure. Right now, if you're just bidding on a certain number of keywords, Google is just showing you basically for those particular keywords, and they're not going to broaden the scope because, you've told them, hey, spend this amount of money on these keywords right here. With this, because you're able to, because you're paying them per action, they can essentially take more risks because they're not risking your money. They're just kind of risking their clicks. They're risking their impressions. And so they'll start to, in the content network, show your ads on different websites. And they'll even have your ads appear on certain keywords that maybe you wouldn't have bid on. But they know through their analytics, because let's be honest, Google knows, I hear Google has some data. So they basically utilize their data to know that, Perry didn't bid on this particular keyword. He's never really tried this particular keyword, but our data shows that this keyword might work for him, so let's give it a shot. If it doesn't work, if there's no conversions for that particular keyword, it costs you nothing. You don't have to pay a thing. If it does work, then great. You now get exposed, and Google's doing all the testing for you, which is why it's easier to manage. Okay, so if you're not just a PPC nut, if you're not a Google AdWords nut, and especially if you've avoided Google AdWords because it got so competitive and it got so complicated, this really does simplify it for you. And there's also another variable that a lot of folks don't consider. Anyone who's used the Google's conversion tracking tool knows that Google misses some, all right? It's not going to get every single conversion, which for you, if you're only paying on a per conversion basis, is a good thing. So, you might be looking at it saying, Google's telling me that I need to bid $50 per conversion and my product sells for $40. That's okay. Go ahead and bid the $50. For one, again, hopefully you're selling these people other stuff on the back end. Hopefully you have more than one product. But more important to that, there's going to be some sales that they miss. Okay, there's going to be some sales that they essentially don't pay themselves on.
And telephone conversions.
Yeah, telephone conversions.
Live chat conversions. Yeah. Those aren't going to count in. So that's just free money. And one thing that I don't know if you were about to tell them this or not, but one thing I'll add here is one thing they tell you is where they made a sale from. So when they do make sales, they're going to let you know where they came from, what keyword they came from, what website they came from. It's going to tell you a whole lot about your customer and who the buyer is. Because what they're going to do is go out and just shotgun your ads everywhere just to see where they stick. And they're going to spend inventory that you could never afford to spend in testing. But you might find out that your camping gear ad works really well on a working mom's website that you would have never thought to test in a billion years. But now you know that working moms will buy your camping gear.
Yep.
So you can go out and target working moms through your other media, your other advertising. And it's Google's doing this giant mass market test for you for absolutely free.
Yeah, that actually should have been another bullet point. You're absolutely right. The data that you get from it, even if you only run it for a limited period of time, is worth doing it just for the data. Now, a lot of people think, but if Google knows what I'm making on all my conversions, won't they raise my advertising costs over time? I don't really want Big Brother, knowing everything that I'm doing. Well, three things. Number one, they already know how much money you're making. Okay, if you think you're hiding anything from Google because you're not using their tracking tools and stuff like that, you're out of your mind. I mean, you're just not realistic. Google knows, okay?
Google camera in your bedroom, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, let's be honest. They got satellites floating over taking pictures of our houses, like street-level pictures of our houses. If you think you don't know as their advertiser they don't know how much money you're making, you're fooling yourself. Will they raise your ad costs over time? Maybe. The point is, bid what they recommend. If you're at break even or better, you have nothing to fear. If you find that they're lowering your traffic costs and you got to keep bidding a little more, just
you're acquiring a customer. Yeah. You see, the thing is, everybody would pay. Most people, the mentality is wrong. Most people's mentality is they would pay to get a click, to get an opt-in, right? But they want to make money if they get a buyer, and it's foolish. The buyer, if you can get a buyer at break even, just at break even, Ryan's absolutely right. The buyer is worth 20 times what an opt-in lead is worth. So, in other words, if they bought anything from you, and we're going to talk about micro offers in a minute, even if it's a $5 item they bought from you, they're 20 times more likely to buy from you in the future. So Google's giving you an opportunity here to get buyers for free, right? And a lot of times they'll let you make a profit. They don't care. But they're going to give you an opportunity to get buyer leads for absolutely free and get them by the thousands. You're foolish if you don't pay attention.
Yeah, which kind of goes to the next point. They're only getting paid on the core sale. Okay, so all the back-end revenues, they're yours.
It's your customer forever. You own the customer.
Yeah, you own the customer. It's your customer forever. So don't get stingy and, go ahead and give this program a shot. Strategy number 4, we kind of built this up a fair bit because it's probably one of the coolest new things we've done. And I think it's a strategy that's going to be big over the next 12 months. So, Perry, why don't you talk about how to generate free YouTube traffic starting tomorrow, as early as tomorrow.
Why don't we skip that one?
You know what? Screw it. Let's skip it.
I'm not hearing anything.
You're right. Nobody's. I think everybody's nodded off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is really cool. And the cool part of this is, I think for us, this is probably one of our freshest tests. I mean, this data is a few days old. Some of it I've done in the last month or two, but the most exciting data is just a couple of months old. So I'm going to show you the brush through of this. I just did a big training on this for the lab, so it's fresh on my mind. So did you know that YouTube, one video done correctly, can produce more sales than an ordinary website? They take only a few minutes to produce without a camera. And plus, YouTube will give you free traffic on Google just for adding your content to their network. Now, that's 3 pretty big, bold statements, but most people don't know, why does YouTube matter, right? So why would you fool with YouTube? Because a lot of people don't. The truth is, YouTube is the powerhouse of the web. When it comes right down to it, YouTube has more power than Google. It's the second largest search engine in the world. Right now, 150 million visits a month, and look at that growth chart. Compared to the next video site down, it's not even close. It's a joke. And Cisco Systems, I don't have this slide in here. But Cisco, the people who make all the routers and the routing equipment for all the data that goes through the web, says that they estimate that in the next 3 to 4 years, video will make up 90% of web consumption.
Yeah, so if we're talking future stuff, which really is what this is about, this is the future. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, YouTube's been around for a long, long time. And isn't that mostly just like college kids putting, videos of them pranking their friends and stuff like that? Guys, that growth chart that you see there is not just, college kids. I mean, this is legit.
This is a pretty crazy number right here. And this is in 2011, there were 48 hours of video uploaded to Google every minute. 48 hours of video was uploaded to Google every single solitary minute of the day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They actually, when YouTube launched the first 6 months, there was more video content uploaded to YouTube in 6 months than were uploaded to all 3 of the major networks, television networks, in 60 years. So that kind of tells you where that's headed. So the trend is not going away. And the big thing is, they're owned by Google. So you wonder why YouTube gets great search engine position, and why when you search almost any term at the top of Google, in the top 3 or 4 results, there's almost always a YouTube video. That's why. Now I'm going to show you how to get your YouTube video to the top of Google, okay? And it's pretty easy. Here's a couple proof of concepts just to show you I'm not full of crap. If you'll notice, this video right here is a doodle animation video. The key phrase is animated doodle videos. If you see, do I need to click that again for another arrow to the top? Or no, so you have one?
No.
Okay, good. So anyway, my wife and my daughter have a business called Cellimations. It's a doodle video business. And when you search animated doodle videos, which actually, oddly enough, are a pretty popular term right now, there are about 2,600,000 pages about it at the top, you'll see that that video is number 1, just above a video put out by Google about a John Lennon doodle video they used for the logo on John Lennon's birthday. So now, that was pretty easy to accomplish. I was able to do that in about a week, and that was about, October 16th, so that was a couple of months ago. This one is pretty cool in that, let me see, yeah. So doodle presentations. I just went in a couple of days ago and changed the description to add the word presentations to the end of it, and I was nowhere under doodle presentations, and in one day, I went up to number 2 under doodle presentations just by changing the title a little bit. And this one was also really cool. If you'll look just under, let me see, yeah, doodle videos. I'm even number 2 for doodle videos. So what's all that worth a month? Well, my wife and my daughter have a doodle animation business, and their video, that one video, gets between 50 and 100 views every single day. And from that, they get 3 to 5 leads a day. In other words, people either click through and email them or call them. And to be quite honest, their website really, really, really sucks. If you, the old joke is the cobbler's kids go barefoot.
Yeah.
I promised them I'd work on their website, and I never have. So, but their website really sucks. The fact they get 3 to 5 leads a day is phenomenal. The website's not even completed, but they're averaging 1 sale per day from nothing but that YouTube video. They don't buy any traffic, they don't advertise, in 1 sale a day from the video, and their average sale is $2,000. And the average buyer will buy 1.5 videos, which is pretty remarkable. So that means that one video on YouTube makes them $3,000 a day in gross revenue. They don't even need a website. They could have just put their phone number in the YouTube video description if they had chose to, okay? Or link directly to an opt-in form. They really don't even need a website to achieve the same results. Now, if that doesn't turn your crank, I don't know what's going to turn it, okay? That's a great, great, great example. And I've got more tests for you. These are some things that I've done, and you'll be surprised how fresh this data is. So if you go to Google and you Google free copywriting newsletter, you'll notice this listing right here is free copywriting newsletter, free copywriting swipe files. That's my YouTube video, right? Notice just under it how long that video has been in existence. Can you see the gray right underneath the arrow to the right?
Yeah,
one day ago. Okay? So I took this screenshot today. I uploaded that video yesterday.
And this is not, I mean, you might think, oh, free copywriting newsletter, that nobody really cares about that. 3.4 million competing results.
Yeah.
That's a decent number of competing results to have that up there so quickly. And by the way, if you go to that page and you watch the video, it's goofy as all get out. This was done as a proof of concept. And so, kind of like with the book example, don't judge us on the video quality and things like that.
These were just tests done for your benefit. So I don't know what happened there. I did that.
Yeah, that's. I guess we just showed it twice. There you go.
Okay, and this was a cool thing. Is copywriting newsletter. I'm number 4 for copywriting newsletter.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me back up and show you one more thing. I meant to show here. If you'll look, this part's interesting. See all this right here, and all these right here. You know what those are? Those are advertisements. That's Google PPC. That's people paying for that term of free copywriting newsletter.
Yep.
All these people are willing to pay so much a click for that, and I get it for free. By the way, the number 1 result in organics gets 46% of all the clicks for every search on average. All these ads on the side get an average of about 5 to 8%. Okay? So I'm getting way more traffic than all these people that are on the sides who are paying for it. So how's that?
Pretty good.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yep.
So let me see where I was now, and I can move on through to the next. Okay. And I'll show you one more. This one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this one's pretty hilarious. This one actually you should go watch now. You know, it is mildly
offensive.
Mildly offensive, and by mildly we mean very. So
if you knew me, it's mild for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it is still pretty comical.
But I've been I've been interested in doing political copywriting, so I was trying to come up with an example, and I went over and made this little video with this little piece of software I'll show you in a minute that takes minutes to make a video. You don't have to have your face on it or anything, and they're just real funny. But I made this little video entitled the video correctly, and again, if you'll notice, look at the time. How long? 1 day ago, right? This video is ranked number 1 at Google for political copywriting. Now, is political copywriting a super competitive term? No, not really. There's some competition for it, but guess what? If I get a political copywriting job from this, or if I were to get one, I'd probably charge somewhere between $10,000 and $25,000 for it.
Yep.
So what do I care? I'm number 1 under political copywriting, right? I think hopefully this is starting to sink through in your head, and you're going, wow, all that crap about building websites and developing all these products and all that time-consuming stuff I don't know how to do, forget it for now. You don't have to.
Yeah, and that, in case people are wondering, because a lot of people are asking, oh my, I guess they're going and watching the video now. Don't, guys, bookmark the video. You can go watch it later. The video, that YouTube video is not going anywhere. You need to stay tuned to what we're doing. But the program you used is called Go Animate. Right?
Yeah, I'll show it in a second. The thing that's really cool about this that's neat, yeah, it's called Go Animate. You can go there, goanimate.com, and they do this. It's really neat. But think about this for a minute. If I can do this with a term like political copywriting, think about what you can do with Tupelo Pizza Kitchen or something like that, or Tupelo Pizza Restaurant. This really kills it for local terms. It kills it for long tail terms. And you don't have to have one video. You have a lot of them, right? I'm number 2 for political copywriter, if you see the term. And I'm number 1 for political copy. And look at that, 397 million competitive websites. I'm number 1 in 1 freaking day. So that should really turn you on. And this was pretty cool. As soon as I did this, the night that I did it, 2 hours ago, it says, I was number 10 at Google for political copywriting.
So it took 2 hours to get on the first page, and then within a day you were up to number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're going to talk about, how'd you do that?
How to do it. So all I did was I created the video, about 3-minute video, and there are a number of ways to do it. And I optimized my video by doing, something called title stacking. And what that means is I wanted to put the same word in, and I love to put the whole phrase in twice in the description if space allows. So if you'll read the title, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's political copywriting. Perry Belcher writes political copy. So political is the headline twice. Copywriting is in there once. Copy's in there again, so it's part of the other term. So you can just kind of see it's pretty a keyword heavy loaded title. This is a super old SEO tactic that was used 10 years ago on the web, and it works. It hadn't worked on the web in years and years, but it absolutely still works on YouTube. And this is, as simple as that sounds, it's probably one of the biggest reasons this whole strategy works. Okay? So be sure to put the main keyword in, or at least parts of it in, twice in your title and try to change the syntax the second time. In other words, if you're going to do political copywriting, Perry Belcher does copywriting for political means or whatever. You don't want to put political copywriting, Perry Belcher political copywriting. That's a little heavy. And it might work, but I wouldn't take a risk on that because it could seem spammy. Secondly, I do something called tag ripping. And this is a real simple little strategy as well. See, here, if I were doing a video for a Forex practice account, for instance, I went and searched at YouTube for Forex practice account. Here are the top 3 sites for Forex practice accounts. So if I did a video on that, I would go look at their tags in each of their videos, and I would take out all their tags from all 3 of the top videos, and those would be my tag list for my video.
Yeah, so in other words, you don't need to really think about that. Just look at the ones that have already been successful.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And YouTube videos are largely searched by tags. Tags are more important here than just about anything. Next, I want to put in, this is the description. So, and a longer description typically would be better here. Normally what I'll do is a transcript of the video itself. I'll usually do a transcript of the video itself and drop it in as a description, but I didn't have time for this example. So the big takeaways here are start the description with your key phrase. So political copywriting and then I've got a link to my site, and then
and that's a good formula right there. Keyword phrase and then a link to your site, because you want to get that link in there.
Yeah, because you're going to tell them a lot of times in your call to action to go click on the link. And it says, Perry Belcher's not a political copywriter or a political consultant, but he does laugh at both. And then I've got, this is a big secret. Then I put a link to the YouTube video itself in the description. Now, you can't do this when you first write the description. You got to wait for YouTube to list it, and you go back and edit the description. Let me tell you why I do that. Because YouTube videos get scraped. And by that I mean, other websites go grab those videos and embed them in their website. A lot of them do it automatically by the hundreds, right? So your videos will get sucked into tons of other websites. But when they do now, you're going to get a backlink from every one of those websites that sucks in your video and your description that points right back to your YouTube video. So all those backlinks come back to your YouTube video without you having to put forth any effort at all to create them.
Yeah,
now, that's a biggie.
Cool, yeah, that's a really, really big strategy.
That's a really big one. And the other thing is captions and annotations. I don't have time here to cover captions because they're a little deeper to understand. But annotations are real easy. That's just where you put the little bubbles up. There's a tab. You'll see it right there. Do you have an arrow to that?
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Yeah. You can add annotations. And basically you just play it and you hit the button add annotation. It stops the video and then it'll pull up a little voice bubble and you type whatever in it you want. The thing is, whatever you type in that voice bubble becomes a part of the file, and it becomes like a tag or like a subtitle or an H2 title. It's hard to explain. On a video. So in other words, it gives Google another way to read that video and read what's in the video, what's inside the video, and what the video is about. Yep. So it can gauge its relevancy.
Oh, there was one.
Oh. Huh. Yeah. And we'll talk in a minute about how we go back then and apply a really quick SEO strategy to these videos to make them rank, and I'll get to that in a few minutes when we get to that part. But
yeah, so that, we will get to the SEO stuff in just a second, because what he described was essentially the on-page things that you do, and now we'll talk about the linking things that you need to do. We talk about, hands-free SEO.
It absolutely won't work as well without the second part.
Yeah. You got to do the second part. So we get to the 7th strategy, hands-free SEO. That's kind of part 2 of that. Moving along really, really quickly, I'm going to breeze through this because I do want to make sure we finish on time. Strategy number 5 is the splash squeeze page. Did you know that traditional squeeze pages are practically dead, especially in younger or hipper crowds, but a new, sexier squeeze is showing conversion rates oftentimes over 50%. So when we say squeeze page, what we mean is it's just a standalone page that squeezes a name and email address from the visitor. Another word for it is a forced opt-in page or a forced registration page. The point is somebody hits a page and there's one option and one option only, and that is, actually I guess there's 2 options. It's give me your name and email address or leave. And so what we're now seeing, these have proliferated the internet, and they still work very, very well, but in a lot of markets where people are becoming uber familiar with them, they're not working as well, and people are putting in, fake information, stuff like that. So the method that we're showing right now is a far more subtle way to collect leads from people no matter where they come onto your website, okay? And we call it the optional splash squeeze page. And where I first saw this being used really on kind of a bigger site was at whitehouse.gov, the White House page. So, and again, I'm not making a political argument about Barack Obama. Perry and I happen to share different political views, but you can watch what they do from a marketing perspective, because when you go to whitehouse.gov, they don't just send you to the general homepage. Homepages typically, if you've got a little opt-in box in the upper right-hand corner of your homepage or something like that, and there's a whole bunch of other information, you're talking about getting a 2, maybe 3% opt-in rate. By incorporating this, you can increase that 10 to 20 times. Okay, and this is really simple. Just to stay informed. Get up to date with periodic updates of President Obama. Not even a really great offer, but the difference is this button right here. No thanks. Go to the website. This is what makes it super friendly. Okay, this is what makes it, for a lot of people who feel that squeeze pages are overly aggressive, or for folks who, don't want to use pop-ups or things like that, this is a really good strategy that's working very well right now.
Here's a big reason why there's a big takeaway from this, okay? The big takeaway from this should be for you. Think about this. If you've got a squeeze page right now and you're using it in your business, and you're getting a 20% squeeze rate, right? Those other people have no option but to leave, right? So 80% of the traffic you're generating or paying for never sees your sales message, nor do they ever have the opportunity to buy anything from you.
Right.
You're basically, think about it in a retail setting, right? You got a guy on a clipboard standing in front of a store, and you're saying, hey, before you can walk in my store and look at my merchandise, I'm going to need to get your name, your email address, your phone number, and all this stuff from you. And you say, well, I don't really want to give you that. I just want to go in the store and look around. And you're saying, no, you can't. You can either give me the stuff or you can get the heck out of here, right? Well, what did you walk away from that? You'd never go back to that store again in your life. You'd really ticked off. Now, if somebody were standing out front and say, hey, we're going to have free balloons today if you'll give us your email address, you can say no thanks and then walk on into the store. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And you get the opportunity to sell.
Really, really, really good analogy. They got to give credit where credit's due. Whitehouse.gov, they do split tests, so they got some nice A/B split tests. This was another version they ran. Again, you see the same thing. No thanks, go to the website. So this one's not a button, it's a blue link. Again, very, very, very effective. A buddy of mine, Ramit Sethi, he's got this going on a site called I Will Teach to Be Rich. This is a little more advanced version, but again, this is what appears if you go to any page on his website. So this is great for search engine optimization and things like that, because once you got some pages that are ranked, you can drop this splash page in front of it, and now you could start gathering opt-ins as opposed to sending people just over to some random page on your site where, again, you got that little opt-in box in the upper right-hand corner that's maybe getting 2 or 3%. This is going to get you 10, 20 times as much. And again, you can see here, or you can skip this and go straight to the blog. All right? So you give people the option to skip it. And I just love that analogy that you made. Now people don't have to make the decision of, give me your name and email address or leave. It's just nicer. I would, however, test something other than a purple sign-up button. That being, anyway. A application that does this, unbounce.com. They've got a landing page platform that will do these splash squeeze pages. You can also do a Google search for it. There's tons of scripts out there on this. Talk to your web people about it. If you're a Digital Marketer Lab member, we have demos for how to do this inside of Digital Marketer Lab for a raw training that we did on this called Double Your List Without Doubling Your Traffic. Another version of this, kind of an earlier version, is the Lightbox pop-up. I know you've seen this before. With this one, kind of the site is grayed out in the background, and you just see the pop-up. The downside to these is they are perceived as pop-ups, and people hate pop-ups. It sounds weird, but the splash squeeze page, where it dominates the entire page, is actually, in many respects, less intrusive. You're not kind of being sneaky about it. You're not hiding something back there. Also, people have just grown very, very accustomed to, I'm just going to click the X and close this. So it's a market maturation issue, but it's worth testing. Actually, Darren Rouse over at ProBlogger, he did a test on this and showed that it, when I talked about this increasing 10 to 20 times, this was the proof. You can see here, this was when he kind of implemented his light box and what happened afterwards. Pretty significant improvement. And the thing that I really like about this experiment is he also tested engagement, or did it affect overall page views? So would people in seeing this light box, would people in seeing this splash squeeze page, would it affect their, because that's the big argument that people make, right, is having the guy out front of your store saying, you know, hey, we're giving away free balloons if you register here. Is that going to make people just run and leave? According to his test, no. People were fine. They had the option to close it out, so they were able to say, just like you would if you're walking into a store, no thanks, I'm just going to look around for a bit. Okay, cool. So it didn't affect engagement at all. Popupdomination.com is a good resource for these lightbox pop-ups. They won't do the splash squeeze, but if you want to test this, you can do a lightbox. Strategy number 6 is a simple one. It is probably more timely than almost anything else. It is charge less and make more money. Okay, charge less and make more money. Now, did you know that using an SLO or a self-liquidating offer is currently outperforming higher ticket offers by as much as 10 to 1 in actual dollars collected when the back end of your offers are optimized? So if you want to blame anybody for this, okay, blame, and you really can't blame him, but blame Steve Jobs, the late great Steve Jobs. He, I believe, is the person who really changed people's mindset in micropayments, in go out there and spend a little bit of money, but do it a whole lot of times. And this is where the industry, especially in the information and entertainment, is headed. It's people buying...
You buy a 99-cent song to see if you dig it. If you dig it, you buy the album.
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing. But still right now, online, people are charging money as if it's 2007, 2008, when everybody has these massive credit card limits. That's just not the case anymore. The society has been educated. People are saving more, which is a good thing, and they don't have the same credit card limits. They will spend the money with you. They just want to date first. They're just more careful. It's not that they won't spend it. They're just going to be more selective about who they spend it with.
They'll actually spend it. They'll spend way more with you from this strategy long term, because that you think about it. You know, if a guy comes by your house and knocks on your door one day and says, "Hey, do you need a new roof? I'll do it for $3,000." Right? You don't trust that guy. You don't know that guy. You know anything about him. The odds of you doing business with him are 1,000,000,000 to 1. Right? But the guy that mows your lawn and does handyman stuff around your house that you pay $40 or $50 to every now and then, he does you a really good job of whatever he does, you would probably go to him and say, "Hey man, you know how to do roofs? I need a roof on my house."
Yeah, or do you know anybody who does roofs?
We go to the people that we've had positive transactions with in the past, period. And that's becoming more and more and more evident, especially online, because people don't know how to gauge online. They don't know how to judge who's good and who's bad, who's going to give me value and who's not. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to try you out. They're going to try you out. And they're going to buy something from you very, very, very inexpensive. And if it sucks, they're never going to spend another penny with you as long as they live. But if you over-deliver on the low-dollar item that you sell them, they're going to come back and buy from you in droves, and you have a lifetime customer.
But the distinction is you do need to charge them something, right? In the past, what people would do is they would have somebody opt in for a special report or something like that, and then they try to club them over the head for a whole lot of money. And then if people didn't buy, then they'd kind of march them down. Really, you know, if you do that, you club somebody over the head for too much money, they're gone. You're never going to get a chance to do a drop-down sale. Now, once they're a customer of yours, even if it's a small amount of money, and I'll show you an example in just a second of what we mean by a small amount of money, now you can say, hey, you know, like the example you just gave, Perry, you know, I've been mowing your lawn for a long time. Looks like you need a new roof. You want to put a roof on, it'll be $3,000. Sure. You know, I gave you $40 yesterday. You did a fine job. It sounds illogical, but for most people, it actually seems less risky. Now, I did a video that's worth checking out because I don't have time to explain this split test that we did in as much depth as I did in this video, which is totally free to access. But we essentially tested $197 versus $97. Okay, so we had a particular line of products that we sold for $197, which is a decent amount of money. But in that market, you know, that was a good amount. So $197 was our proven price point. We did a split test 2 years ago, and $197 and $97 converted about the same. But it had been 2 years since we had tested it. And it's safe to say that a lot's changed in the last 2 years. So we did the test, and what we found was that at $197, we had about 340 conversions. This was a 3-way split test that we did. 340 conversions at $197. At $97, we had 108 conversions. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. 1,008 conversions. So about triple the number of conversions. So by cutting our price in half, we actually tripled the amount of money we made. So a lot of times people think, oh, if I cut my price in half, surely it's not going to more than double our conversions. So it's worth just keeping it at the higher price. And in this case, it actually tripled them. But here was the really cool thing. And this is worth testing. This is what proves that front-end price point really is what makes a difference. We tested 2 payments of $97, and that got 977 conversions. So not as many conversions as the 1 payment of $97, but it's twice the money. So half the price converted at triple, but 2 payments at half the price, so really the same money as the original price, also converted at about triple.
And think about this, on both of the bottom 2 options, guess what else you got? The opportunity to upsell and cross-sell to 1,000 people versus 340.
Oh, yeah, by the time you factor in back-end sales, the fact
that blows it away. It's not even comparable.
And so really what it suggests is test 97 versus 39.95. Keep driving those prices down until to get all the volume, until you reach optimum. And it's the optimum number of customers based on what you're selling people on the back end. So here's an example. We have this kind of a weird market that's in the preppers sort of survival space, and this is how to essentially filter and purify your own water. And this particular little book that we sold, which originally we were going to price at $47, and then we tested down at $27 and $17, got a 14% front-end conversion rate. 14%. 14% of the people that came to this site, immediate bought. This isn't after follow-up and stuff like that. 14% of the people who hit this page, 14 out of 100, bought. To put that in perspective, most people would consider a 2 to 3% conversion rate on a digital ebook to be pretty good. So 2 to 3% versus 14, hey, I'll take 14 all day long. That, by the way, is better than some opt-in rates. I know some people who have some websites that are getting opt-in rates.
It's way better than that, but
yeah, because go ahead and talk.
Opt-in rates. You got to think about this. If you had an opt-in rate of 14% or a sell rate of 14%, which would you rather have? Would you rather have the sell rate? No question about it. But even if your opt-in rate were higher than the 14%, you got a lot of benefits. Let's say you got a 25% or 30% opt-in rate, right? Here's the thing. Most people are finding out right now. I deal with a guy in town here named Ben Morris with Crystallytics, and they do this analysis of your list and cross-check email addresses to street addresses and all sorts of things and verify if the address is real or not. And here's the thing. In most industries right now, only about 30% of the email addresses people are putting in the forced opt-in forms are real. Only about 30% are verifiable as real. And in the online marketing space, the internet marketing space, only 10 to 12% are actually the real email addresses these people use on a regular basis. So if you're getting, if you're in the IM space and you're getting 100 opt-ins a day, probably only 15% of them are real. I'd much rather have 14% sales, right, than 15% opt-ins. Because remember this, and this number never, ever, ever changes. A buyer is worth 20 times what a prospect is. That number never, ever, ever changes. That person is much more likely to buy from you in the future and much more likely to buy from you at a bigger ticket. These people, fortunately for us, we gave them opportunity to do both very, very quickly.
Yeah, and the price, by the way, that we sold on, the one that won, and boy, we tested from $7 to $47, but the one that made us the most money and got us that 14% conversion rate was $7. Okay, $7 for this particular report, and it's because the value was just absolutely
But we sold thousands of them in a day.
Yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands in a day, and generated a lot of customers, whereas, normally you sell a couple hundred of them and you're feeling pretty good.
It's a great way to convert people that are currently on your list to customers instead of tire kickers to customers. Because if you've never, I know a lot of people in the internet marketing space and other spaces that sell $500, $1,000 products, and they don't ever give their customers the opportunity to buy anything else from them that's under $1,000. So they've got a buyer's list of 200,000 people, and they've only ever sold to 2,000 of them. You know,
They have a prospect list of 200,000.
a prospect list of 200,000. Only sold at 2,000 of them. The other 198,000 are dying to spend money with them. They're just not willing to drop $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, yeah, never mind. I'm not going to go. I was about to do a really bad analogy. So for the sake of time and my own thing, I'll pass on that. The final strategy number 7, is hands-free SEO. So this is the thing that I know, God, Perry, you've done a ton of testing on this in the past few months. And this is really what's going to add the YouTube strategy, going to give it that extra zip. So talk about why it's hands-free and you know,
this is also known as the Perry is stupid strategy. Because for the last, I got obsessed with SEO about 1.5 years ago, and I decided I was going to learn how to manipulate the search engines and become an SEO whatever. So I was really trying to be really good at SEO. And I've tried all the different strategies, got all the different softwares, but I've read all the books, done all these different things. And at the end of the day, I found out that, yes, I could do this, but it's extremely time-consuming, it's extremely expensive, and it's not very sure-thingy. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Then I kind of boiled it all down. Everything I learned, boiled it down to just a handful of push-button things that you can do, and actually I'm achieving much, much, much greater success. And here's the thing. Did you know that while PPC costs go up and down, organic traffic is actually become much, much, much larger and increasingly easier to get with this little five-minute SEO trick? The only site you ever need to know for SEO is Fiverr. That sounds like the craziest thing you've ever heard, but it's just Fiverr. And
we talked about Fiverr before, but for people who jumped on late, you know, what is Fiverr? And no, that's not a misspelling, by the way. It is Fiverr, Fiverr, with 2 R's. And we don't own this site, by the way. This isn't like some, you know, cradled or veiled, you know.
Not at all, yeah.
But what is, describe very briefly what Fiverr is.
Yeah, what Fiverr is, it's just a website where people are willing to do anything for $5. They have a certain amount of things they say. People pop on a listing that says, like this guy says, I'll add your site to 500 social bookmarks for $5. That's his Fiverr gig. So if you hit that orange button at the top, in about 10 seconds, you can order that job and tell him where you want to point those 500 bookmarks at. If you want to point them to one of your YouTube videos, if you want to point them to an Amazon book listing, if you want to point them to your own website, that's okay, but it's going to take longer to get the heavy lifting done, right? If you want to point them to a listing for one of your books on one of the channels that Smashwords puts out, or a list of one of your CDs on Amazon Music or Facebook Music, any of these things that sit on channels, all you need is Fiverr. All you need is Fiverr, because the channel already has, it's like a keg of dynamite sitting there that just needs a little bitty fuse lit to it, and they'll shoot those listings straight up to the top of Google.
Well, and in most cases, those listings allow a link back to your site. And so once those other listings, you know, the YouTube listing, for example, you add a link over to the letter.
And you're going to build your site up that way, but it's going to be slower. The thing is, with these channels, it's super duper fast. And there are 24 channels right now, total 24 channels you can market your products with online. And I go into those in the labs training pretty deeply, but there are 24 total channels. So in a lot of cases where I've got a product out, I'm dominating the first 2 pages of Google for the product completely, and it's not even my own websites. It's sites like Amazon, it's like Amazon, it's Sears.com, it's all these other different websites that are super popular. So anyway, let me tell you, for the YouTube strategy or for the Amazon strategy, you can do this for both. These 4 little services, these are actually my favorite, some of my favorite Fiverr providers. So write down the names. This guy does a great job with social bookmarking. If you'll notice, he's got 263 orders in his queue right now. That means he's got 263 orders pending. It's going to take him 4 days to get to yours. They're amazing what they can do. But you just click the button, pay $5, and enter your URL for your YouTube video, your Amazon listing, or whatever, and they'll drop 500 bookmarks on it right away. This particular listing, DinoStart, will actually build a 5,000 link backlink pyramid. This is something that used to take a $10,000 piece of software in 3 days and a PhD with a pocket protector to figure out how to do. Now you pay $5 and it just kind of happens.
Yeah, and just to be clear, because people are like, well, you know, I don't understand what's a backlink.
You don't need to know all that.
Yeah, that's just the beautiful thing, guys.
Just enter in your URL, pay $5, hit it, and watch what happens. You will be blown freaking away. Okay. Next, I do a link wheel with this Volorex provider, $5. And I'll also get somebody to do an article. This guy spins an article and submits it to 1,200 article directories for $5. And if you don't want to write the article yourself, you can go over here and have Natasha write the article for you, 400-word article for $5. Send it to him, and you're all good. You're gravy, right?
So real quick, but before we go, I know there's one more, but I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Let's add it up, because also people are saying, like,
so
here's
500 backlinks.
That's 5. So this
5,500.
That's 10. This one's $15.
8,500, right?
$20.
8,500, 9,700 links. You're $20. There's the article. So for $25 total, you get 9,700 links back to your page. Now, guess what? If you did that to a brand new website, you know what would happen? Your website would get slapped and penalized by Google, and you get sent to the bottom of the rankings. But guess what? If you do it on Amazon, they're not going to slap Amazon. They're not going to slap YouTube. They're not going to slap Apple. These channels protect you. Their reputation is on the line, and they protect you, so you can drive your links, you can drive your posts as high up Google as you want without fear of being penalized by Google. Isn't that cool?
And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I don't want people doing these.
Yeah, don't go send 10,000 links to your website, because you'll blow you up unless you have a real old established website.
This is the strategy for getting those, when we talked about with the Amazon and the iTunes strategy and the YouTube strategy, this is for getting those pushed up. But, the cool thing with Fiverr is, and I think that there's two big lessons here. Here's the guy.
I'll tell that in a minute. Go ahead and tell your lesson.
The biggest lesson of all, the thing that Perry just showed you, these 5 or 6 steps. That's something you could just point and click, do this right now, and you're going to get good results. You don't have to know how it works. The bigger lesson, though, is Fiverr, is the fact that you don't have to go out there and invest in expensive software anymore. There are people out there who've already invested.
They bought the software.
They'll do it for you.
This guy's a terrific example. He owns Traffic Geyser, which is a quite expensive piece of software for video distribution. And this particular strategy works very well for video. Once you've done your video for YouTube, you send it over to this guy, and he'll distribute your video to all of the other video hosting sites for $5 through Traffic Geyser, and you get to see him in his hot people purple pimp hat, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. And
that's what we call a bonus.
But the big secret to this particular gig is, and it's a big secret, this really is only for video, is make sure that he sends all the links back from all the other videos, not back to your website, but back to your YouTube video. This one gig alone, in a lot of cases, will get my YouTube videos to #1 and keep them there. If I only want to spend $5. So if you're going to put up 20 videos or 30 videos for all your long tail terms, you could spend $5 each on them, and then when anybody's looking for anything around what you do, you're going to have a video on page 1 of Google. And this is something, guys, listen up. This is something you could do in a weekend. You could put this whole deal together in a weekend, spend $100, and dominate a complete category.
Yeah, and we had some people say, like, oh, Perry, I looked at one of your videos, and it's not as high up as it was before. That is going to change, and rankings are always going to move around. But the biggest thing is you do need to go and sort of prime the pump a little bit on some of these rankings. So once you get something up there, you don't just walk away forever. If you get one of your videos moved to #1 on Google, you occasionally need to go back and throw a few more links at it to keep it there. If you start to see it slip, it's going to cost you $5 to get it pushed back up. Go to one of the previous, people, throw some more links at it, boop, pops right back up on top. Again, the examples we showed were just proof of concept.
Plus your video here gets distributed to 15 other video sites or so. So you're going to have 15 other places your video's at. You can go back again if you really want to get crazy with it and optimize those listings too. That's a whole different animal. Normally you're never going to have to do any of that. I mean, only if you're doing something super competitive, you might have to do that. But if you're, I mean uber competitive, like life insurance, right?
Yeah.
For most anything else, this is going to, what we've shown you here is going to do the trick. Now, production of the video, I didn't have time to go into here, and how the video needs to work and how you get them to respond to a call to action. That's all very, very, very important. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to get to that here, but you need to think about that from a copywriting perspective. How would you put together the video? And it really should only have a few parts. But I mean, you definitely need a call to action at the end. That's the most important part. So
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah, so guys,
I'm out of breath.
Yeah, real quick poll. Do you feel smarter yet? I mean, that was kind of your. I know we went over time, but that's the thing that I want to know. Do you feel like you're smarter? Because that really was our goal. We wanted to make sure that we could show you some cool stuff where you can really not just be smarter, but actually achieve better results from the things that you've achieved.
And feel what it's like to be the inside here.
Yeah, and so, a simple question, how would you like to get more pre-tested strategies and tactics just like this, but with a lot more depth each and every month? So the strategy that Perry talked about, with YouTube and with, what he wasn't able to go into with generating the videos themselves and go into more depth on the SEO. How would you like to get a complete training just like that? And not that one in particular, although that's in there as well, but more like
you get those. You get every one we talked about. Yeah,
more like it each and every month. If you answered yes, then I want to invite you to join the most advanced and exclusive community of digital marketing professionals. It's called Digital Marketer Lab. And our mission here at DM Lab is to empower small and mid-sized online businesses with the knowledge, systems, and contacts they need to achieve extraordinary success in these uncertain times. Digital Marketer Lab, or DM Lab for short, is truly a labor of love. And the strategy behind it is fairly simple. First, it gives you the kind of cutting-edge insider information you simply can't get from a book or course. No more outdated and incorrect information. No more untested theories that have never been tested in the real world. You see, unlike most gurus, we actually make more money doing this business than teaching about it. So when we tell you something works, it's because our team and I have tested it in our real world business lab. So all the things that we've talked to you about today, it's not just theory, it's not just fluff. It's stuff that we've tried and stuff that we know works. That's what makes us different. And you see, the fact is the internet moves very, very quickly. So quickly, in fact, that no single human can keep up with it on their own. That's why I'm so thankful to have a team of over 45 experts, the best and the brightest in digital marketing, working directly for me in my office in Austin, Texas. These folks aren't outsourcers and they aren't consultants. These are full-time members of my team. And now they're your team as well. And if you think it's expensive to maintain a staff like this on your payroll, not to mention cover office rent to house them, insurance, all that other stuff, you'd be right. Currently, I pay 100% of the cost for my intelligence data, my connections, my test results, strategy development, staff training, systemization of everything we do down to a 1, 2, 3, step by step by step. And it costs me a bundle. Over $350,000 a month, and that doesn't include bonuses and variable compensation plan. Now, let's be real for a minute. Most of the so-called gurus out there teaching this stuff, most of the people talking about digital marketing and online marketing, they're not even making $350,000 a year, much less paying out that much to employees each and every month. Again, the thing that makes us different is that we do this, all right? This isn't theory, this isn't fluff. We're not just out there gathering data. We actually have real-life businesses just like you. Now, in the past, my team has been my advantage alone, but starting today as a member of Digital Marketer Lab, it becomes your advantage too. Here's how it works. Twice a month, you'll be able to hop on a live raw training where my team and I cover what's new and what's working in our business today. A lot of the stuff that we've talked about on this training that you just saw came from previous raw trainings. So if you like that and you'd like to get more of it in much greater depth, that's where these raw trainings are all about. Now, you may be wondering, why are they called raw trainings? Well, because unlike books and courses that are filled with untested, made-up theory that's impossible to implement because it's never been tested in the real world, raw trainings are, one, real, meaning the concepts are tested and proven. They're also actionable, so it's no theory, no fluff, just pure content. And it works today, so no more outdated garbage. And I know you've experienced this before where you buy a book or a course and you start implementing only to find out that this worked 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, but it doesn't work today. It's not the case with raw trainings. Some of the raw trainings already waiting for you inside DM Lab include one that we did on brute force traffic. This is our #1 traffic strategy, the strategy that we use that produces more traffic than anything else we're doing. And it doesn't involve pandering to affiliates or begging and pleading with people to mail for you. It's a very systematic process wherein you go out there and you essentially brute force people to mail your offers. It's pretty cool. We talk in much greater depth about the Amazon KDP method. So if you like what Perry had to say about getting your products in Amazon and Kindle publishing, you're going to love the raw training because we have a lot more depth and a lot more videos in there. We have one on boomerang traffic where we talk about a really great traffic strategy called banner retargeting. This is a way to essentially have banner ads follow your visitors all around the web. It's really advanced and really cool, and we've got one of the most complete trainings on it. Facebook fan pages perfected. We had our social media stud in-house who manages and runs all of our Facebook fan pages, essentially established the anatomy of a perfect Facebook fan page. There's a million different things you can do, but he isolated it down to the best practices that work time and time again. We have one on list building with Google+, one on hands-free SEO. So again, if you liked the topic today about kind of how to go out there and use services like Fiverr, we've got a much more advanced training inside of DM Lab. How to mobilize your content. Mobile traffic is going through the roof, and if your websites are not mobile-friendly, you're losing money. We'll show you how to get them mobile-friendly. I did a training on how to double your list without doubling your traffic, so if you like the cool tip I gave you about the Obama-approved squeeze page, you're going to really love that training because there's a lot more just like it. We also have one on Google AdWords 3.0, and again, this is just to name a few. There's even more right now waiting for you right inside of DM Lab. Any one of these trainings we could easily sell for $100 to $500, but again, they're waiting for you right now inside of DM Lab. Second, in addition to the trainings each and every month, you need specific resources, checklists, and procedures for acting on the information you receive. After all, what good is it for me to tell you that you need to start testing mobile ad buying, for example, if I don't give you our sources for buying those mobile ads and the checklists and standard operating procedures that we've developed in-house to manage those campaigns? In other words, it's not enough just to tell you what to do. We need to tell you how to do it. We need to give you a simple plan that you can mark through, check off, and implement, or that, better yet, that you can hand to somebody on your team to do for you. That's why you'll also have access to all our internal documents, including vendor lists, checklists, spreadsheets, SOPs, and even proprietary scripts, software, and tools. Literally all the documents, spreadsheets, and videos that we use in-house to train new employees and run our different businesses is now yours. It's as if you hacked into our servers and stole all of our documents or broke into our office at night and photocopied, everything. Only this way you get it legally, and you get a lot of training to go along with it too. Now, you can either take these cheat sheets and use them yourself to roll out new marketing strategies, or you can do like I do and hand them off to outsourcers and employees to execute all the steps. Now, that may sound risky, handing this off to someone else, but we've McDonald's these processes so well that literally a pimple-faced kid fired from a fast food restaurant can learn to execute even complex strategies such as product launches. You want to roll out a new product launch? We'll give you our standard operating procedure for that. Paid search campaigns, SEO strategy implementation. Imagine hiring someone today and having them the very same day executing your SEO strategy for you, even if they don't know anything about SEO. They just need to follow the step-by-step checklist, and they're good to go. Social media build-outs work the same way. Membership site build-outs. You want to launch a membership site or community? We've got standard operating procedures on that. And this is just to name a few. And more are added each and every week as my team systemizes and perfects our business process. So as we get smarter, as we get better, so do you. That's the beauty of DM Lab. But the most complete set of checklists and training videos is the execution plan we use to test new product and market ideas. It's called Idea Hatchery. And earlier this year, this set of internal documents and videos were sold to a small group of people on my list for $500. But as a member of DM Lab, the complete Idea Hatchery training program and Fill in the Blanks execution program will be waiting for you the moment you log in. So you don't just get all the SOPs that we have. You don't just get all of the past raw trainings and things like that. You also get this particular execution plan. If you're just getting started, you'll want to go through these videos and checklists first. Seriously, don't even think about launching a new product before filling out this execution plan. I promise it will save you months of time and thousands of dollars in mistakes not made. You're going to want to go through it. We don't launch a single product or a single new business venture without running it through the Idea Hatchery filter. Now, some other benefits of DM Lab include what I call wicked smart calls with my inner circle. So I've got a lot of other buddies in the industry that are doing really cool stuff. When I see them doing something neat, we hop on a call, we talk about it, you get to eavesdrop. You get office tours and employee interviews, so every now and then we'll break out the camera and interview some folks right here in our office. You get to kind of see the inner sanctum, see what the lab here is all about. You get recordings of staff training. So just recently, we did some trainings on inbound marketing for our social media and SEO team. We recorded them. Those are getting uploaded into DM Lab as well. So again, as we train our staff, you get trained as well. Or if you have staff, they can train right along with my people. It's as if I'm training your people for you. Archives of evergreen courses and trainings. There's thousands of dollars worth of courses in there. Recommended vendor lists. It'll save you a ton of time. Member site reviews and critiques. If you want us to look over your site, we've got a way that you can submit that. We do a couple of those a month. Plus, and this one's a biggie, you also get our monthly split test report. This report is my baby. And to be frank, I've never shared it with anyone outside of our team. Not even members of my private $25,000 per person mastermind group. In this simple report, our director of tracking and analytics documents all the split tests we ran for all our different sites and the results of each and every test. It doesn't get any more intimate than this. No one, and I mean no one outside of my inner circle, has been privy to this information. But when you become a member of DM Lab, you'll get the exact same report I review with my team each and every month, and you get it the exact same day that I get it. It truly is the ultimate shortcut. If you're planning on launching a new site, you need to see this because we're going to save you a lot of time. I'm not saying you shouldn't still do your own split test, but you're going to get a sense of what you should be testing and what isn't worth testing. And to get you started even faster, I'll also include over 50 consistently profitable tests that you can deploy immediately on your own site. So you get all our past archives. Some of these tests include the one trick that increased our email click-through rates by 120% overnight, the 3 formulas that make your ads get crazy clicks, the simple text you can place alongside your order form that will increase conversions by 28 to 30% and reduce cart abandonment rates by as much as 50%. We'll talk about the one doodle trick that outperforms other opt-in tactics by 58% and only requires you to have a pen or pencil, plus my 10 best email headlines. I've used the formula behind these to get over 10 million emails open. They're ninja and proven. We'll talk about which security seal insignias increased conversions by around 13%, and which ones actually lowered conversions, how quotations with this font outperforms any other font headlines by about 17%, the one color shade that gives an average of a 31% conversion increase. We'll give you the color code. Videos, colors, and borders. Video design itself can increase sales by 34 to 77%, and we'll give you our 3 biggest secrets and the data that backs it all up. We'll talk about live chat, when it works and when it doesn't, because when it does work, it can increase sales by 40%, but you got to use it in just the right way. We'll talk about email timing in the 1 hour out of every 24-hour day that gets the highest open rates and the highest click-through rates. We'll talk about signature placement, how when we place signatures in this one spot on the site where most people place them, we get almost no bump. But when we moved it to this other spot, we saw sales skyrocket by 19%. We'll give you the invisible buy button trick and the code that makes it happen. If you've ever been to web pages and seen buy buttons appear seemingly out of nowhere, we'll show you how we do that and give you the test results that shocked us and much, much more. Seriously, this is less than half of the split test results. They're already waiting for you inside of DM Lab. Are you starting to get a sense of what's in there for you? DM Lab truly is the great equalizer. And believe me when I say that as a member, the steps you need to take to grow your online business will become very real, very personal, and very, very specific. Imagine you don't have to wonder anymore what you should do. Chances are we've already done it, we've already tested it, and we can tell you what works. You just need to log into DM Lab, do a quick search, and the answer will be there waiting for you. So whether you're brand new or you already have an established online business, DM Lab will be that edge you need to succeed in these more difficult and turbulent times. So if you're ready to join me and my team on this journey, there are just 2 quick pieces I need to cover. First, I need to go over the basic ground rules and cover who DM Lab is for and who it is not for. Then I'll discuss how you can be one of the first to join this incredible community today and get a 50% discount in the process. Now, the club only has 2 rules. Rule number 1, you have to be responsible for your own successes or failures. Like Tom Hanks said in the movie A League of Their Own, there's no crying in baseball. This is business, okay? And, you can't think that we've got just some magic crystal ball that's going to instantly make you successful. Yeah, the stuff that we do, we test and it works, but your business is your business, and you're going to be responsible for your own successes and failures. Hopefully that's obvious. Rule number 2, get-rich-quick seekers are not welcome at any time. all right? This is a place for real businesses and real business owners, not immature, delusional unicorn chasing. If you think that you're going to be able to log in and download a piece of software that's going to scrape Google and build web pages and have money shooting out of your computer while you sleep at night, this ain't it, okay? There's other people who will sell you that crap. Granted, it doesn't work, but that's not what this is about. This is real stuff that really works. Remember, we actually do this. So you're getting to peer into our lab and see the results that we're getting. But it's not some crazy, funky, get-rich-while-you-sleep garbage. And if you still believe in all that junk, then you're not ready for DM Lab. Now, if you can agree to those rules, and I'm assuming if you're still watching that you do, then let's move on and talk about how you can become a member. Now, I confess I've made it so you feel just plain dumb if you don't, and here's why. See, when I first presented this idea to my inner circle and mastermind members, the general consensus was that I should charge at least $500 a month. And most felt like it should be closer to $1,000 per month. Now, to be fair, these are folks who are used to paying me $25,000 a year for essentially the same access I'm providing at DM Lab. So you can understand why they would want to set the price so high. But don't worry, I'm not charging $1,000 a month for club membership, even though I know I would personally make a lot more money at that price point. And I'm not charging $800 a month like you've seen some other marketers do in the past. Remember, the mission of Digital Marketer Lab is to empower small and mid-sized businesses so they can succeed in these uncertain times. And we can't fulfill that mission if we're charging $500 or $1,000 a month. We just price way too many people out of the market. That's why we decided to price DM Lab at a point where we know literally anyone can afford it, where you can definitely afford it. The standard membership to Digital Marketer Lab is just $197 a month, or about $2,400 for the entire year. Now, if that seems high, put this into perspective, okay? That's about $6 a day, or about what you'd spend a day at Starbucks if you go there every day like I do. But today, I'd like to offer you a massive discount off that normal rate and cut the price of DM Lab all the way down to just $497 for the entire year. All right, so if you want to pay for a full 12 months, then you get in for $497 for the entire year, get you access to a full 12 months, all the archives, and if you choose to stay a member, after your 12 months are up, you'll be allowed to renew at this grandfathered rate. Or if you choose to pay month to month, we'll cut that in half as well, and we'll drop that down. Instead of $197, we'll drop it down to $97 a month if you choose to pay as you go. Now, obviously, the $497 price point is the best deal, but I understand some people want to dip their toe in the water, so we have the $97 a month option if you would like that instead. We're doing this for one simple reason. You took the time today to watch this presentation from beginning to end. We've gone a while, but obviously you saw the value in the information that we were providing, and we respect that. It would have been easy to search Google or some freebie forum for another here today, gone tomorrow trick or hack, but you stuck it out and showed a real interest in the future of your business and in learning things that work today, that are real. Sadly, you're in the gross minority, all right? There just aren't a lot of people like us who are willing to invest the kind of time that you just invested. Yeah, you're right. It's about 2%. It's about 2%.
Employs everyone else.
Yeah, so welcome to a very small and unique club. So for less than $3 a day, which after the discount, if you choose to go at $97 a month, it's about $3 a day, all right?
If you go to annual, it's less than that.
Yeah, way less than that. So that should remove any concerns about price. And to be honest, if you're still concerned about $3 a day, then I don't want to know you. I don't want you to join. Seriously, I'm dead serious about that. If there's any doubt in your mind that you can't get positive ROI from this information by spending just $3 measly a day, then you either don't believe anything we told you, or you're just not in a good place mentally. You just don't believe in yourself. Right. I mean, we've shown you enough stuff tonight on this training that is worth the investment that we're asking for. If you just go and implement the free stuff. If you can go out and put out one little bitty screenshot video on YouTube tomorrow, you could pay for this thing for 10 years. Yeah. You know, by next week. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And that's why, either way, whether you mentally got something wrong in the head or you just don't believe in yourself. I'm not a smart man. Yeah. No offense, but we really don't want you. But if you agree that $3 a day is a no-brainer and you're ready to get started, then I invite you to go to the special link. It is digitalmarketer.com special. Okay, and it's important that you go to that link. It's not just a special link because it's digitalmarketer.com/special. It's a special link because that's where you get the discounted annual price that we just talked about at $497. If you go anywhere else, you're going to pay more. But again, if you're watching this right now, not only have you invested time, but you've also invested money with us in the past, at least a few bucks. And like we already talked about, that's meaningful. Okay, those are the only people who should be watching this right now, are folks who have already invested with us. So we're willing to pay that investment back many times over. Now, it goes without saying that the annual membership is the best deal by far. I mean, if you've done the math, $497 for a year versus $97 a month.
60% off.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial savings. So why are we offering such an insane discount just for taking the annual membership? It's simple, all right? The folks who select the annual membership are acknowledging that this is a process. Building a business is a process. It's not a one-time quick fix. It's not a get-rich-quick thing. That's a sign of maturity, and again, I really respect that. So we're once again dropping the price as a sign of respect.
And they're always more successful.
And appreciation. Yeah, and the folks who take that wind up...
It's like going to the health club and buying the biggest package they got, because you made up your mind that, well, what'd you say today? Being thin always feels better than being fat tastes, or being better than something tastes.
Skinny tastes better than food tastes, or something. Yeah, I don't remember what I said. The point is, I mean, in this case, it's the highest level at the lowest price. But with all that said, I know the annual membership isn't right for everyone. Gosh, we talked about it on tonight's training. Some folks just don't want to make that investment. So don't feel ashamed for taking the monthly membership. It's still a tremendous value, and you're still smart for getting in while you can. And remember, this discounted rate is not the public rate. Okay, it's only available to the small group of individuals who watch this presentation, to the 2%, like Perry said. So whether you pay the full price tomorrow or some later date, or you join at the discount rated today.
You just need to get started.
Yeah, your membership does come, though, with a 30-day no questions asked guarantee. All right, this is really, really simple. Here's the bottom line. If you don't feel like you receive at least 12 months worth of value within the first 30 days alone, we don't want your money, all right? We appreciate you giving it a fair try, but if you don't see immediate value, then you're probably not a good fit for this group. Heck, if you don't feel like you got enough value right now on this training to justify 12 months, then you probably aren't fit for the group. And this means you have nothing to lose, all right? Either you're blown away and you continue on this journey with us, or you're not, and you leave with every last dime back in your pocket. We are totally fine with opening the kimono, letting you walk around, experience everything that there is to experience, try it out, see if it likes. You got 30 days. It's more than enough time to implement these strategies and pay for this training, or you can go on your merry way. It just doesn't get any simpler than that. There's, no weasel clauses, no nothing. So at this point, you have all the information you need to make a decision. We've been very transparent, and frankly, we spent a lot of time showing you a lot of really cool stuff, so you got to know at this point that we know what we're talking about. Our goal tonight was to wow you with some of the findings that have come out of our lab in the last few months. If we accomplish that goal, and you want to be wowed month after month, week after week, then I invite you to join us. All right, go to digitalmarketer.com/special, digitalmarketer.com/special. This really is your last chance, all right? We're going to sign off now, so make sure to go to the special link below to take advantage of these discounted membership rates before the training closes. Because again, once, you want to make sure you get this link, because again, Perry, I'm going to give you the last word. I'm going to say, good night, everyone. I'm glad you made it on the training. I know you got some good value. More than anything, I hope you implement some stuff. But above all that, I'd like to have you in Digital Marketer Lab. You're still here. It means you're serious. And so with that, Perry, I'll give you the last word.
Two things, just real quickly. I mean, one thing, this presentation, it was really fun to put together, because Ryan and I worked on this thing for the last couple of days. And honestly, we had to cut out half of it by the time we got done.
And we still went long.
And we still went long, because we're like, let's talk about that, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, let's talk about this. And we just couldn't possibly do it. So, I mean, there's so much more out there. And, if the benefits far, far, far out. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine, honestly, somebody that would take the time, invest the time to go through a presentation like this, and at the end of the day say, $3, no, $3 too much for me, too rich for my blood. I can't imagine. I can't even wrap my mind around that. I mean, this is, if nothing else, God, you get to go to parties and sound like a freaking genius when you talk to other people. if you're just an egomaniacal crazy person, you get that benefit out of it. But that's not what it's about. It's It's about really leveraging everything you do in a strategic way. It's leveraging everything you do in a strategic way. There are people that make their own life, and there are people that let life happen to them. And you got to decide which one of those people you're going to be. And right now, I mean, this is a point. This is a turning point. You know, there are a few little choices in life. This is one of them, you know. And the main reason people don't succeed, or the main reason people don't thrive in particular fields of endeavor, is because they never get started. Now, you can make a commitment, and a bigger one or a smaller one, doesn't matter to me. The bigger you make, typically, the more committed you are. You make a commitment right now that this year is going to be that year, that I'm going to get darn good at this. You know, this past year, I made a personal story. I made a commitment to myself this year that I was going to forget all the things that I'm not very good at and concentrate on the things that I am really good at. I want to be the best in the world at a few things. You know, if you want to be a digital marketer, you know, make the commitment to be the best doggone one in the world, the best one you know, or the best one in your town, or the best one in your group. And there's just no way on earth to accumulate this mastermind of knowledge any other way. I mean,
you could go hire 50 people, I guess.
Well, you think about it for a minute. If you really think about it, well, so what if you don't want to do it this way, right? But you still want to be. You kind of got to make a decision. You want to do this way, or you probably ought to just find something else to do and forget about digital marketing, because truthfully, you'll never keep up. It's an impossibility to keep up. And the thing is, you're going to have to read through all the crap to get to the diamonds, right? You're going to have to weed through all the crap to get to the diamonds, the nuggets out there. We got almost 50 people sitting out here in a room right now that they weed through that crap all day long and bring that 0.1% to the top of the pile, right? And that's what you get with Digital Marketer Lab. You get the 0.1% that's at the top of the pile. Then we test it for you to prove that it works. I mean, my God, man, how could somebody not get that? If you don't see the value in that, I mean, I want some of what you're smoking, because it's just like, I sound like I'm being just a real jerk about it, and I kind of am, because if I were sitting across from a table from my best friend right now in the whole wide world, and they were going to get in this business, I would drag them by the arm over and make their finger press a button, because I would know, sure as I was sitting in the seat across from them, based on where I'm at in this business and where I've been in this business for the last 13 years, that they're screwed. They're screwed unless they have somebody that's going to let them know what's working and what's not. And that's that. So as a friend, I'm going to treat you just like you'd be my best buddy right now. And I'm going to say, dude, no, I'm not going to let you leave. You're going to come over here and you're going to do this right now because it's what's best for you. And that's the truth. And that's what I want you to do right now. So, you know, I'm not kidding. I'd highly suggest that you either choose to be a member of Digital Marketer Lab, or you just choose to get out of this business. That sounds pretty. And that sounds pretty strong, but
normally I'd be, you know, I'd be slow to say something like that, or I'd be like, oh, Perry, that's overdone. But my gosh, we spent the last hour and a half, 2 hours showing you guys what we know, and like you said, Perry, that wasn't even all of it. So by no means,
it wasn't a percentage of it.
Yeah. So I mean, if we hadn't just shown you, then we might be slightly less intense about this, but. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be in this business, if you're going to be in any business that has anything to do with the internet, whether you go through it or whether somebody on your team goes through it, gosh, if you're going to be a consultant or run an agency on this stuff, you will never be able to keep up with it.
One last thing I'll say to you: if you're just sitting there going, I can't imagine you're still setting out a fence, but if you were setting out a fence, I want you to think about this: if I had somebody come in and regurgitate to me what we just told you on this webinar, I'd give them $100,000 a year job. You know, you should, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, yeah. If you decide that after doing all this that you don't even want to do it for yourself, go get yourself a freaking 6-figure job. Yeah. Unless you're, it's easy. It'll be a can of corn. You know what it looks like? You walk into a place right now, you sit down across from somebody that's a business owner that doesn't have access to information like this, and you say, "Hey, Mr. Business Owner, are you currently what's your YouTube strategy right now? What are you guys doing with your business on YouTube?" Oh, what, really? Yeah, what about your social media strategy? Are you running Facebook ads? What are you doing with Google? Are you partnering up with Google? Because these are the guys who can really help you. Maybe we should put a report on Amazon that our local market people can buy and drive people back to our products and go to our website so they'll buy more of our stuff. That dude will want to be giving you equity in his company and paying you more money than he makes himself to come to work for him. I mean, duh. Yeah, I'm like, nah. You know, if you were here, I'd shake you right now.
And golly, I mean, again, I don't want to make it seem just totally ridiculous, but if you join as an annual member, it's $4.97 for the year. If you really just want to dip your toe in the water, it's $97. You know, $100. I mean, that's what you'd spend on a halfway decent night on the town with with your loved ones. So,
really?
yeah. Depending on the city you live in, and maybe a night on the town with you is Mickey D's and a $1 movie.
I spent $700 on a dinner for 4 Friday nights. Yeah,
that'd be nice. But no, I mean, and at the end of the day, if we're totally blowing smoke and this is all just one big ruse, you can contact us and we'll even give you your money back. I'll be frank, it doesn't happen often. And it's because it's there, and you're going to see it. You've already seen it tonight. So with that said, now I think
I'm going to take a blood pressure pill now.
All right, yeah. Now we're going to go ahead and sign off. But go ahead, go to digitalmarketer.com/special. Make sure you use that link, all right? You're not going to see a lower price anywhere else. If you go back to the main site, click around, everything's going to be more expensive. Certainly on the annual, it will be more expensive. It's only for the folks who stuck it out with us in this particular training, and you're one of them. So welcome to a pretty elite club, and we look forward to having you as a member of Digital Marketer Lab. With that, thanks everyone, and we'll see you in future trainings.
Good night.